Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. I apologize for not being with you the last couple of days. As you well know, I hadn't sounded all that great. I was very sick, and in a very brief meeting with my managers over at Fanark, Oliver and Jason, they were more than understanding that I just could not physically be able to push out any more content at the state of which my body was deteriorating at the time. So after a couple of days and some well needed rest and some lot of fluids, a lot of medicine, your boy is back at a absolute perfect time, said no one ever, for a game like today. I could have got up and watched this game at 7:45 this morning on a Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, by the way. Knowing that I was still little iffy, teeny bit under the weather, I said to myself the night before, ain't no way I'm going to sit here and sacrifice whatever sleep I can get watching a game that I know the outcome of before the game even started. Before, hell, even as far back as when Man City was named our opponents for this FA Cup quarterfinal match. As soon as that happened, I knew we were screwed. There was no way around this. So, to protect my own peace, I decided it was in my best interest to sleep through it. And lo and behold, I was right. But boy, that was bad. Oh man, 4-0. God, you guys could have put a little bit of fight on there, couldn't you? I just wanted a little bit of fight from you. I wanted one goal, just one, something that could have been worth my time watching those awful highlights. Because let's be honest, even the highlights aren't really that much worth to watch. We didn't do anything, really. We had a couple of decent shots, but nothing like Erling Haaland fucking scoring a hat trick, one of them being a penalty that was a fucking awful decision by Van Dijk to allow to give. It's like this team doesn't want to try anymore. In an opportunity to silence doubters, this team just completely folds under the pressure of the big lights and the big name teams, and the mentality monsters that we once were are nothing but scared, starving little abandoned puppies on the side of the road that you feel bad for because they're cute and adorable, but you don't want to go around them because they're mangy and they probably have some sort of disease on them, so you don't want to take the chance of adopting one. That's kind of what I compare our team to right now. Very adorable puppies that are just mangy, starving, gross. It's worse than the ones you see in that Sarah McLachlan song video. Was it the ASPCA or whatever? Like, it's worse than those. Something that it's like you want to adopt them, but you know they have rabies. You know they have something wrong with them. That's like what we play like. We play like just all like poor, scared, little, starving, mangy puppies. It's terrible. It's embarrassing, really, as a fan. Hell, one of my buddies who's a Man United fan, as if he has any say in this right now. A buddy of mine who's a Man United fan goes out of his way to post in one of our buddies' group chats the graphic of the score of the match, thinking it would annoy me, and I'm sitting here like, okay, and like I didn't already know the outcome of what was going to happen. Like, come on, bro, it's you're a United fan. What do you care? City beat us. It was a formality the second the announcement was made that this was the matchup going into the quarterfinal. Like, come on, man. Find something better with your time, please. All in all, Haaland had a very good showing. He had some very spectacular goals, one of them being a penalty, which should have been prevented by Van Dijk, but, whatever. Semenyo had a really good goal and another decent shot after that. It went, like, really high up, a couple dozen yards. And, yeah, that's it. Other than that, the match itself was kind of even, really. I mean, shots on goal, City had 12, we had 13. City had 7 shots on target. We had 6. We both each had about equal possession, 50-50. Clearly, they did more of that possession than we did. They passed us by 30, 492 to 460 in passes. Not that it really matters. Passes, to me, is a really useless stat. Pass accuracy was 90% apiece. We had less fouls, 14-9. We each had 3 yellow cards apiece. No red cards were given in the match. 1 offside apiece, and 4-2 corners in favor of City. There was nothing about this match that was statistically one team was drastically better than the other. On paper. On stats-wise, there was nothing indicating that either of these teams did much. But clearly, City performed much better when they needed to, when it came to striking and defensive ability, and that is where they frustrated us the most. There's not much more I could say that I haven't already said throughout the course of the season. I'm just disappointed. I'm not even mad at this point. I'm just disappointed. I'm just sad. I'm just deflated. Like, can this season be over already? Can we look forward to the transfer window? Can we look for the next Salah replacement? Can we look for the next defensive signing so that we could, find someone to properly replace Van Dijk? Can we look for other goalkeepers than Mamardashvili? Because clearly, as expected, he did not perform well. Some of it maybe not have been his fault, but still, he was not fantastic. Let's just be honest about that. Hell, even Salah had a bad game. He had a couple of good opportunities, and the one penalty was the best opportunity he had. But once again, the poor, mangy, sick puppy just kicks it right into the keeper's arms, and it's just it's a shame. It's a shame. So, I saw a report this week saying that Arne Slot wants to turn it around. He wants to incite change. When is that change going to come? And this is why I bring up this point. We have been asking for change. Us as fans have been asking for very drastic change. We asked for change during the January transfer window, and none of our needs were met. We still had no depth in the defensive positions. At the time, our striking depth was also very poor. And lo and behold, we let probably two of our best options go to City in Mark Gahey and Semenyo. So right away, City has already taken 2 of our top prospects that we probably could have used. One of which was already in our palms of our hands at the day of the end of the summer transfer deadline. But somehow, some way, we decide that, let's just not sign Gahey at the very start of the window. Bad call. Bad call, FSG. Very bad call. I have seen this argument being made, and I have touted this argument in defense of it. Not in defense of Slot, but in support of sacking Slot. We have been a garbage team for a very, very long time. We simply won the league based on pure Klopp adrenaline. Okay? Jurgen Klopp's team won us that championship. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot convince me otherwise that the team that we had last season is not, and the reason we won the championship was for anything other than the fact that Jurgen Klopp put together that team. Now, when Arne Slot starts implementing his little changes here and there, personnel changes, replacing players, letting players go, putting players on loan, so on and so forth, we start to see just how, what's the word I'm looking for? Poor we really are. All of that depth that helped us win those titles or helped us get that mentality monster gimmick that we have, the whole Klopp's kids and all of that stuff, all of that was gone in the span of a year with Arne Slot at the helm. Now 2 years. we have not gotten any better. We have signed spectacular players. Florian Wirtz, Kirkez, Ekatike, Frimpong when he's not injured, Isak when he's not injured. On paper, these signings should actually be helping us, but clearly something in the water has not allowed them to do that. Injuries galore, poor coaching, because that's always going to be a problem. The players are not playing up to their abilities. Some players are having a harder time than others. Drama in the back, in the dressing room with Mo Salah and Arne Slot butting heads. Who's to say that that was the day that he decided to not stay with the club another year, or at least to the end of his contract? I now believe that more than ever. I can't sit here and tell you that there's going to be change. And Arne Slot and FSG and all the, Liverpool journalists that they have in their back pocket, or all the people that are going to tout the positivity aspect of things and the same old regurgitated bullshit. We'll be back stronger. This is a setback. We've been having a setback for the better part of the whole fucking year, really. Yeah, that little 10, 13, 12 unbeaten run we had, that was probably the best part of the whole season. And even then, it wasn't even that spectacular. Half of it were draws that we shouldn't have drawn. So, fuck off with that shit. So, and there's the thing that bothers me is the fact that we watch this every single week. We have been watching the decline of this team, and yet there are still people out there that are Slot apologists saying to us, but he won us the league. Not with those tactics, he didn't. Because clearly, whatever football we played last season that won us the Premier League championship is not the same football we're playing this time around. This is Arne Slot ball in its purest form. This is not Arne Slot ball with Jurgen Klopp's team. This is now Arne Slot's team, and it's showing by the absolute horrendous decisions that he has made over the course of the year. So, whatever this fucking turn it around garbage buzzword headline I've been reading all week, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. He's not going to turn it around, because if he wanted to turn it around, they would have had it done before the fucking January window happened, or even after the January window happened. They would have made the proper adjustments they needed to make. But they did nothing other than sign Jeremy Jacquet. But still, one signing that wasn't going to happen immediately doesn't do us jack shit. And he's injured right now because he's still playing for his league. I forgot where he's playing even, but still, it's bullshit. As a matter of fact, it's getting so bad that Michael Edwards, who is a one of the bigwigs, one of the back end guys, one of the office guys over at FSG, Fenway Sports Group in Liverpool, he is reportedly becoming increasingly concerned about the direction of the sports group in which who owns Liverpool Football Club. He's, worried about the strategic uncertainty that they are currently in, questions about their long-term planning, especially with the whole post-Mohamed Salah era now becoming more in fruition than ever, doubts over decision-making with the structure and the alignment of the team. There's reports that suggest that Edwards himself is not fully convinced by the current trajectory. Now, I want to say Michael Edwards is part of the problem, but honestly, I think it's more Richard Hughes at this point. I mean, Michael Edwards has been there for a very big portion of Liverpool's transition in his own right. He was very much an architect of Liverpool's modern success with Jurgen Klopp, so he's known for that data-driven recruitment, the long-term squad planning, the efficient spending. And if you ask me, if he's the one that's being uneasy, it suggests that the club might be drifting away from a proven model that has already been a testament to previous success. You know how I talked about an episode or two ago how Konate talked about how there's going to be struggle seasons and then that's when we find greatness again? There might be more of a struggle than we thought was happening. As a matter of fact, the struggle's so bad, it's not just in the dressing room, it's not just on the field, it's in the fucking office now, too. The fact that now a big member of the ownership group and the person involved with, sporting matters and making decisions for the team, he's like, well, I mean, something's not right, guys. We're kind of fucking up right now. We're in an identity crisis. We're at the risk, if not already, of having an identity crisis. And that is a problem that ownership now has. So the fact that they've always prioritized sustainability and avoided reckless spending, they're now under pressure because, one, the team, with the amount of spending they have already done, has already not improved in the slightest. As a matter of fact, we've gotten much worse. Didn't properly address certain problems that were already painfully evident. Have not made major impact on certain contracts that need to be done. Fans are already, angry about the ambition of the squad and whether or not Slot is going to be a manager next season. Not to mention the ticket price scenario that I talked about a few episodes ago, too. The recruitment, we don't know where it's at. So, what are the risks versus the opportunity right now? Let's break that down. Obviously, we don't know what their replacement decision is going to be. That's a big risk. Managerial instability. Is Arne Slot going to be the manager next season? I saw a report earlier today or yesterday that said that Arne Slot's very much involved in trying to recruit for the next team, the next free agents to get on transfer. And if he's in part of the recruitment, what does that say for his role next year when he's inevitably might be a part of the team and we all have to suffer through the same fucking bullshit again? Losing key figures like executives and players, and of course, falling behind rivals, not just in the table, but structurally as well. Because it seems like City's been doing quite a good job for themselves. I mean, Semenyo, I think he had like 10 goals. He's already had at least 10 goals or close to 10 goals since joining City. And that could have been us. We could have had him. Now, he would have thrived under an Arne Slot system, I don't know, but the idea of having Semenyo sounded like really good on paper, you ask me. But there's also some opportunities here, too. Now we need to rebuild with a clear identity, which a lot of people say, well, we had an identity and Arne Slot destroyed it in the span of a season. They need to reset Edwards-style recruitment model. Or reassert, I should say. I don't even know if that's possible, because if Michael Edwards might leave and Richard Hughes might leave because Saudi's recruiting him, who knows what's going to happen? Who are we going to find to properly address these issues? Well, I think anyone could be better than Richard Hughes at this point. And of course, we have to refresh the squad profile for the next 3 to 5 years. And Liverpool being the very much one of the most popular clubs in the world, I don't think we are in we're not in a position to sit here and be like, okay, let's wait 3 years for the next potential championship run. We're not doing that. It's not happening. Not at all. So I want to end this by just saying flat out, I am a part of the, I think it's not a secret. I am a part of the Slot out agenda. I have been a member of this agenda for a very long time now. If we don't make a decision soon, especially since we have PSG coming up this week, who are going to eat us alive. We all know Arne Slot's obsession with PSG. What's that obsession going to be like now? Is he so obsessed with it that that's what he's training this team for? Is that what this training has all built up towards? All this pain and all this suffering so that we can beat PSG on Wednesday? I don't know. But all I can tell you is it's Easter weekend. And if God himself or if Jesus Christ can rise from the dead and come back 3 days later, then surely, if there is a God, he would fire Arne Slot right now. That's all I could hope for, is some divine intervention at this point. I don't care if you're religious, if you're an atheist. I don't even care if you're Jewish, Muslim, whatever. You could be anything. I love Liverpool and the community that we have because it's a little bit of everything. That's why I love being a part of this fan base. It doesn't matter what you are. Whatever you pray to, whatever you believe in, I want you to pray to that person or say something to whatever in the heavens to manifest the idea that Arne Slot's got to be sacked by the soonest Monday morning, because I can't take this shit anymore. We need an Easter miracle. It's happened once, thousands of years ago, allegedly. Maybe it can happen again in the big year 2026. Somebody help us, because that's all I can say. We need some divine intervention at this point. I have gotten so fed up that I am now praying at this point. And I don't pray much anymore, but I am praying to somebody, and hopefully somebody will listen, to fire Arne Slot come this week. Because if we lose to FSG in brutal fashion, Lord knows we'll never hear the end of it. We're already not hearing the end of it from other fans of other clubs. Even Man City wants Arne Slot fired. That's how bad they feel for us. Not that they feel bad for us at all, but they even want this guy gone. So, with that being said, that is your Liverpool latest today. Thanks for letting me yap a little while about this awful, awful game today. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, follow, whatever you got to do. Share with your friends. Help the show grow. I appreciate every one of you, and I appreciate any new viewer that comes to the channel. If you enjoy this entertainment, please, by all means, stay a little while. The show is just getting good. Hey, and if worse comes to worse, even though we lost today, at least Arsenal lost too. No titles, right? Quadruple my ass. See you guys on the next one.